And welcome back to the third edition of tonight's, third segment of tonight's Chamber's Business Perspective. We're discussing the Chalillo Dam, and we've had a very interesting conversation thus far, discussing the background as well as some of the environmental issues. And if any of you have had a chance to visit the McCall River lately, it's very brown, and the discussion before we went to break suggested that we simply don't have the answers as to why that is so, although there is much speculation. Sure. But we have been assured that it will be addressed when testing can be done, and at that point we will know more. Yeah. But we have no idea at this point how or whether it's even affecting the wildlife in the river, the ecosystem, or any of that. Yes, we simply don't know.
Well, we don't have any evidence of, for example, we don't see any fish kill or anything of the sort. I know the DOE has done some tests. Mm-hmm. They found some elevated levels of iron, I think it might have been, and aluminum near the dam, but downstream they didn't find. They didn't detect any. I think they had detected some magnesium. Or
high levels of magnesium.
Yeah, but it's interesting. They found high levels.
Actually, it was manganese.
Manganese, right?
Manganese, yeah.
Which is more the coloration. If it's sustained, it's a health issue. But I think the manganese is coming again from the flooded waters.
But you haven't seen any fish floating around on the reservoir or anything.
I haven't seen any fish kills. I haven't seen any. No? And the people from the water company are saying that they've handled much higher levels of turbidity than this. They've confirmed that to us. I know my friend from BWSL, he had called me shortly after the whole thing broke because they were talking about people getting ill from the water. And he had sent his guy up to the hospital in San Ignacio, and they found that that wasn't the case. Right. There was nothing more than, so what am I to say? I like Mick, a lot of, and I think the DOE is taking the right approach, get the facts. They're doing their tests, they're getting the facts, and after they get the facts, then they'll make a determination as to.
Could I ask you one thing? I'm just intrigued that all of a sudden, after we've had 2 years of 2 years of the Chalillo being filled and the reservoir happening, that this is the first time that we actually are hearing of any results which have come back with regarding to water quality or sedimentation or anything else. I mean, we were assuming that these would be things which would be taken on, as a matter of course all the way through the life of the dam. But it seems like Belpo has been. I know they've been pushing the button, and but it's good that somebody has been pushing the button, because otherwise, if somebody doesn't, nothing ever gets done, as you are well aware.
That's not just Chalillo, and that's beliefs in general. You could see that in general. But
we have a call.
But the tests are done monthly, as far as I know, and they are submitted to, and the DOE does checks monthly now.
I need to take this call, gentlemen. Okay. Sorry. Business Perspectives. Good night.
Hi. Good night. I'm calling. I'm from Orange Drive actually, but I'm driving on the highway and listening to the very interesting program. I want to ask Lynn. And I don't want him to answer right away. I would like to ask the question first, so I can set on my telephone as well. I can listen to the response clearly. Okay. But Lynn, you mentioned that Belcogen is trying out. With Bagasse, they believe the cost will be 21 cents, and with heavy fuel, I think you said, or diesel is 23 cents. This is what is it what is costing Belcogen to generate the energy? And if this is what is costing them, how much will it be sold to the consumer out there? And second, Lynn, how do you convert megawatt to, I think this is kilowatt hour? How do you do that conversion so that people may know how this is converted and how much money will be generated? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the leader one first. A megawatt is 1,000,000 kilowatt hours, 1,000 kilowatt hours, yes. And a gigawatt is 1,000 megawatt hours. So a gigawatt is 1,000,000 kilowatt hours, right? Okay. Okay. The other question was the cost from the Belcogen and different places. Obviously, when we buy power from Bal, it's tied to fuel prices. Also Mexico. So when oil prices go up, their prices go up. Right now, with oil prices going towards $80 a barrel, I think the price of electricity from Bal will be around 28 cents per kilowatt hour. Our diesels the fuel alone is about 30 cents per kilowatt hour just for the fuel alone, right? But then we have the recovery of the assets and stuff like that, and we're not using the diesel as much.
Can you use any of the diesel from BNE?
No, it has to be processed. I think Blue Sky is not processing, and I think, I'm not sure of this, but I think BAL might be blending Blue Sky with imports to try to get the quality that they need for their machines. And I think BSI plans to do the same because they have to supplement, they will be supplementing their bagasse with some diesel generation. Yeah. The other question he asked was about how much is it costing Belcogen to generate. I have no idea. The way it was done is that the PUC asked BEL to put out a request for proposals, and different companies put in bids as to how much they would like to sell electricity for, and the lowest bids were accepted, which was the VACA project and the Belcogen project and the BAL project and so forth. So their cost is something that we are not privy to. Just as CFE, we are not privy to that. We know what our cost is. Okay. The other question was, what is the markup? The challenge, one of the big challenges that we face in Belize is we have one of the lowest, well, not one, we have the lowest customer density in the region. And so the cost of distribution
in the Central American region you're talking about?
And Caribbean.
Really?
Yeah, and North America if you want to. We are the lowest.
Yes.
We have the lowest population density. So what happens is that the cost of distribution, transmission and distribution is disproportionately high per kilowatt hour per customer served. Nonetheless, the cost right now it's really what you'd call like a price cap set by the PUC, and we are allowed at this point right now we are allowed 13 cents per kilowatt hour for transmission and distribution. That is the problem we have right now with the PUC, because at 13 cents per kilowatt hour, our return is like about 6% return on assets, which the banks are refusing to lend us money now because they're saying that our return on assets doesn't justify them lending us money at 12%. So that is that's another challenge that we have. Well, before that, I think we were running about 16, 17 cents. So you'd have to add 16, 17 cents to the cost from the supplier to get the cost to the end user.
Let me just remind our viewers and listeners that they are welcome to call in. The phone numbers are 203-2098, 203-0528, and 203-2281. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, okay. What I was saying, for example, if we were generating, if it was just hydro at 17 cents per kilowatt hour, plus another 16 cents for distribution, then you're talking about 33 cents per kilowatt hour to the customer. Mexico right now is at about, like I said, 20 cents, and you add another 16, 17 cents, and that's about 36, 37 cents. But there's a mix of generation that we can, right now, for example, another thing, right, if we didn't have the hydro right now, we would have been having rotating blackouts for the last couple of months, because Mexico has had problems for the last 4 or 5 months to supply us. We probably had to have some blackouts, and we would have had to rent machines and generate with temporary machines.
How much do you actually use the hydro during the day when you're buying power from Mexico?
Right now we are running the hydro at full capacity all day.
All day?
All night.
All day and all night.
One of the things we try to do during the rainy season is to try to keep enough capacity in the dam so that if you have a flash flood, it doesn't just run over So if we try to use as much as possible to try to get it done during the dry season. Then we manage it carefully, right?
But I mean, all of that notwithstanding, at the end of the day, the business community wants to know: are we ever going to get lower electricity rates?
The honest answer to that is simply that Belize we are importer of energy. Remember, electricity is just a form of energy, and still in the world today, the base energy, the most available energy is oil. And so countries like Belize, that we have a choice: we either convert oil into electricity, or we try to develop what natural resources we have, or we import the electricity from Mexico, or